Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. Namaste. Sat Sri Akal. Ni hao. It is great to hear the voices from all around the world in response to your assertions and these days I do have this feeling that still the hope is there. Uh, Humanity can be saved. There are receptive minds all around the world. Even in subcontinent, people have started thinking now. The first voice which came out from Jawaharlal University, Jawaharlal Nehru University of India, that was communicated to me regarding uh, Kashmir issue. And there was a young man delivering a speech there. He's probably president of Jawaharlal Nehru University. Not only he recognized the status of Kashmir as a disputed territory, but has also condemned rapes there committed by Indian army. I may not agree with his red salutes and everything. uh, I'm not a revolutionary. Being a journalist, being a writer, I never favored any revolution. Rational decisions can lead the humanity towards lasting peace and stability. And when revolutionaries uh, they find their way, and they start moving ahead, then they really jam the rational faculties of mind of the people in their respective region. They're also humans, they have their own way of doing things. As I have narrated in earlier videos, that humans, whether it was Karl Marx or Adam Smith, they were all looking for some sort of salvation, some sort of resolution of problems faced by the humanity at their times. And maybe, and for sure, in their times the life was too hard and too difficult. So they were unable to grasp the whole thing. Uh, and now we have the opportunity, we are living in an age of great comfort. So we can also think and can come up with better solutions. Say, for example, if we uh, submerge capitalism into communism, and the Western concept of liberalism and democracy, so we find out that we are having a welfare state which takes care of needs of the people, and at the same time, while doing so, is not curbing their fundamental freedoms. To make it a bit more simple, say for example, in communism, in communist countries, you have to surrender all your rights, and you'll just get a right of life only, because the state will sponsor your all activity, your living, everything, housing. And in capitalist world, where the democracy is there, we are having Scandinavian countries where the system is ideal. State takes the responsibility of from your living to everything. I mean, all the rights are being protected by the system. At the same time, you're a free person. You have all the rights, and your needs are being also taken into consideration and are being taken care of by the state. So already the solutions are there. Scandinavian model is an ideal one. Well, in the West, especially in United States of America, I mean, now the world is, is sort of a integrated, we have an integrated world through internet. Whenever I have time, I just uh, log into my Facebook page, and then I'm everywhere. I have got friends in United States of America. They are going through election campaign. The candidacy of two major parties, political parties, are there going to be decided, and they're having debates and everything to win the candidacy, final candidacy for themselves. The candidates are involved in a debate with each other, explaining their program to the people, to their party, registered party members, and to American public. So uh, with my American friends, I was involved in that debate. One candidate there, he came up with the idea that we can have a Scandinavian model in United States of America, and there were voices against him. So I'm not supposed to. I mean, being a journalist, we can analyze everything and all that, but we cannot dictate anyone to do this and do that. But I've told my friends who are against his voice that he is right. He's coming up with a better solution. And those who think that welfare system of a permanent nature is going to be a burden on national exchequer, they're just overage. When people, not everybody, but some people, when they grow old, they become more stingy. Their ideas just, um, I mean, they, their stingy nature reflects become the basic motivation behind their ideas. As we know, and every literate person will agree with me, that we can run the system, our economic system, only through having an effective mechanism of circulation of money. Concentration of wealth in the hands of few means bust. In America, my friends, they say that every boom follows the bust. There was a president of United States of America who had proved this wrong, Franklin D. Roosevelt. He had taken welfare measures. He had ensured that everybody is having unemployment allowance, money in his pocket. So when the people were having purchasing power, there was no bust. So it is the stingy nature of few influentials, few powerful people who are behind every bust, whether the bust is in USA or in Pakistan or in India or anywhere else. If you ensure in 1958, whenever we discuss Pakistan with friends, and mostly this, I tell them that okay, I did some courses regarding Pakistan too, and I know that in 1958, Pakistan suddenly became a very rich country because of Korean War. Our jute exports were increased and too much money was there. East and West Pakistan were united at that time, and jute was a product of East Pakistan. And Pakistan became so much rich that someone was telling me, I haven't confirmed that yet, that Germany, Pakistan had extended loan to Germany, to West Germany in 58. But nobody was bothered to make this state a welfare state. If 1958, when the population was small and country was too rich, if our elders would have opted for a welfare state, today the problem of terrorism, today the problem of political instability which we are facing here in Pakistan, that would not have been there. Now we would have been living like Scandinavians. Of course, they're too liberal. I mean, Pakistan has its own culture, 3,000 years old culture of India and Pakistan. Can be about it can be read. We can read about it in 3,000 recent history books written by various authors. It's a beautiful culture, and Scandinavia economic model, welfare model of Scandinavia is acceptable everywhere in the world. I mean, only stingy nature of the people, of leaders, they prevent the imposition of that system. I don't find any other reason of denying that on any grounds. It is very reassuring that Chief of the Army Staff had held a meeting and have assured everybody that Zarbe Azab, that a campaign against terrorism military campaign is going in a right direction. So far, that child killer of TTP, that student killer of TTP, is still at large, though many of his followers and his uh, gang members are being killed or arrested now, and obviously uh, the tension still prevails here. Everybody is worried because there was a suicide bomb explosion in Charsada, in Shabkadar, sorry, uh, and around about 19 people have lost their precious lives. Then here near to my home in Bahadur area, again there was a grenade attack on a school. So nobody was harmed. But those guys are active, and their ideological allies inside Pakistan are trying to prove that our legal system is so slow and needs reform. Okay, nobody disagrees with that, that if there is some problem that shall be corrected. But how the hell someone can support a person who is bent upon killing every student here in Pakistan? And those across the border in India who are supporting and financing such activities against Pakistan, they must not ignore the fact that most of the invaders who came to conquer India, their route was Khyber Pass, from Alexander the Great to Mahmud Ghaznavi and all that. And if Pakistan falls, the second target of them will be India. And it is not, though it is a matter of pride that we are not that much divided as India is being divided on caste lines, and so we can fight better. We had fought even against Indian aggression thrice, and still we are trying to control uh, India, India's financed terrorism here in our tribal area, in our settled areas. We have lost more than 60,000 lives here during last many years in bomb explosions and all that. And interestingly, it is not that I'm feeling happy to blame India, or I'm a realist. I personally, though on a project which I'm working, uh, though I'm off duty now, and my contract has not been renewed till today, but I'm giving you the hint regarding the project of UNHCR, sub-project of UNHCR, upon which I was actively engaged for 2 years in FDMA, for 2 years and 3 months. The crux of it is, my assignment is that I am supposed to find out the causes of conflict, the conflict which has caused displacements on such a high scale, and which is going on in tribal areas of Pakistan. So, while going deep into it, when I have interviewed a person 6 months ago, probably, And he was insider. He has told me that whatsoever is happening in your settled areas is uh, is a activity of those who are fighting for United Emirates uh, in tribal area, for establishment of United Emirates, independent United Emirates in tribal area of Pakistan. And to stress for their demand, they are exploding bombs, they are killing people in settled areas. Well, it is a way of doing things in tribal areas of Pakistan because of prevailing ignorance of centuries. The life is very harsh there. So their way of doing things is also very savage. And then Pakistan army sources have started revealing the documents, the money, Indian currency, the weapons, which were proving the link of those TTP people who were struggling uh, for creation of United Emirates of tribal areas or whatsoever its name is. So if India is doing it, they are just, I mean, though there is no chance that they will succeed in their mission, no one on earth can win a country or independence through taking away the right of life from others. It is something really, this problem is so complex and solid evidence is not there. But what we journalists can say in our recommendations that it is not good for India. If we go into the history, as I have mentioned earlier, the people which are financed by India now, if they succeed in their nefarious designs, their second target will be India. Now it's nowadays, if you want to have some value of your analysis or your talk, you must have some knowledge about psychology, biology, history. Of course, international relations is my field, but I was made to read and have some know-how about these things too. Whatsoever is going on in subcontinent is a reflection of sadism, you know. Sadism is a state of mind in which one feels like seeing others suffering and feels happy then. Well, this is madness, you know. My friend, even a very wise man, he's probably he has completed his doctorate in biology, Afiji Kasim Isakji, once he came up with a definition of friendship for me. And I was startled by his wisdom, I want to share it with you, with all of you. Afiji was of the view that your friend is the one who feels sorry when you are down and out. If you are suffering and he feels happy, for that, he is not your friend. In brief, Afiji was of the view, and I totally agree with him, that your real friend will also feel sorry for you if you are suffering, and will feel happy when you are happy. Will share your happiness, and so it's a very simple formula. India claims to be a friend of Pakistan. Many they do. And that younger one, that president of Jawaharlal University, what he can do is that he shall leave his radical stance. I heard him chanting slogans of revolution. We, the people of subcontinent, we need rational attitude. We have to read a lot. We have to hear a lot. We have to think a lot. And we have to plan and implement a lot. And we have to develop the skills to bring out our people from this miserable state. One billion people of India and 1800 million of people of Pakistan, they are suffering because of the sadist attitude of few, sadist and stingy attitude of few. Is it fair that same sadists, when they come over in power, they shift all the national wealth to their Swiss bank accounts? Is it fair that they become warmongers within India and Pakistan after winning the elections, even during the election campaigns? And when they are in power, they start receiving kickbacks on weapon deals from the weapon sellers of international community. Is it fair that a young lady commits suicide in India because of the shame which she had felt that her country is not having sufficient toilets there? Any magic stick is there in a revolutionary ideology which will give us all that we don't have with our people now? Shall we still keep on shouting slogans? Any slogan will help us to feed our hungry and poor. You can't feed anybody with slogans. Okay, as a student, whether you are in Qaid-e-Azam University or in Jawaharlal university. You will be able to do that when you will concentrate on your books, on lectures of your professors, and you will become a rational being, and you'll be having a realistic approach towards life. Even if you become able to resolve your own family problem, economic problems, if you can take care of your needs of your family, you are a big leader. With no revolution, you can do this. But as a student, while working hard, while working intelligently, finally you will be able to. And when we all become able to resolve problems of our own families, as family leaders, the revolution is there, the change is there. So these are your skills, your knowledge, which leads you towards change, towards better. I mean, change can be of any sort. Change has its own dimensions. One can move ahead towards worst as a change. So, for a better change, for a better life, we all have to be very rational. We have to be very hardworking. We have to be very serious. Chanting slogans, following obsolete ideologies like communism and all that. That is uh, all offshoot of sadism. You know, only sadist person can think of uh, creating huge buildings and going towards technological advancement by killing his people in a revolution. The brainy ones, America is a great model of advancement in a free environment where the people have rights and they're developed too. Economically, they're well off. I have heard that Madam Albright, Madeleine Albright, and she was true in her saying while commenting on conditions of those refugees. She was saying that our dogs are better kept than the refugees. So Americans, they did it with utilizing their brains, their muscles, and obviously in a very intelligent way. And in an environment of freedom, it was not like this that America was free of extremism. Puritans were there, but they were pacified finally, and majority of the people, they did it in a very skillful way. And finally, sanity prevailed there. Now, if they succeed to have that Scandinavian model regarding welfare of the people there, they are going to be a big, I mean, a very big success. And they are quite capable of doing this. So, all those who have raised concerns during past 7 days, I think that they are satisfied now, and those who are asking for interviews, I mean, I'm not talking about media and others on Facebook. Well, my clear message to them is that I'm not doing all this for any sort of uh, projection less than the YouTube standard or of my blog standard, and obviously, uh, especially those who are not known to me, I'm sorry, I regret, I will, I will not be available for interview to them. But those who are having complete profiles, and once I'm satisfied that uh, it will be not a risk to converse with them and get taped on video, I may agree with them. So, uh, Middle East is again facing a difficult situation. Oil prices are down, and my Habibis in uh, Middle East, most of them are literate, and few of them were in university with me. So they are facing difficult situation because of a growing terrorism there in Iraq, in Syria, and economy of peaceful places like Dubai has been also affected. Uh, Terrorism plus that uh, downward going prices of oil. I hope they will be able to uh, meet the challenges. They too have got brains and muscles too, and do have large savings. So the job market will not be affected there, as is being predicted by CNN and my friends there. Okay, they came up with the real data. The job market has been already affected there. I'm worried about all of them, and especially of my Habibis there. I like them so much, and I hope that they will come up with some better solutions. That frenzy which I'm being witnessing there in India, with shouting slogans, with coming out on streets, you know, after that first experience of mine when that GTS was burnt and all that, I never came in public. And even for this analysis and these lectures, I'm using YouTube to facilitate my viewers and blog readers and my friends, and of those, especially of those who insist too much on having some sort of heart-to-heart talk with me. They talk to me through their questions, and then I respond, because no single person can answer that much stuff at one time. I mean, I'm also a human being, and today I was on a, I mean, uh, was having some time to respond to all that, so uh, trying my best to remember everything which was being asked or raised. That uh, Middle East needs special attention of the world, because something going on in Syria is really, our American friends, they're insisting upon resignation of Bashar al-Assad, the president of Syria, and on charges of that he's being, being cruel to his own people. If they demand anything, stops. He starts killing them. And Bashar al-Assad's problem is that he had inherited all this from his papa, that Baathist party and its leadership. I don't know, but people are too egoistic in the world. They don't have that considerations which we academicians, journalists, and uh, I mean the normal people who can just sit back and in the best interest of humanity, they don't like to make others suffer because of their tendencies. Everybody has that leadership tendencies, but we need normal people to rule the world, to save the humanity. So I think that negotiations between the Syrian leadership and American leaders will finally succeed, and they will reach some better conclusion there. People are suffering too much. In fact, nobody is satisfied in third world now. With the advent of internet, especially younger ones, they are almost in America. Just open a website or a Facebook page, and then they are in the United States of America with their friends, and they're watching their videos, they're seeing their living standards, their ways of life. So in their own countries, now in third world, nobody is satisfied, to be very frank. Even elderly people, they are having access to internet now. And nobody is now satisfied here with the standards of leadership and and the assertions which the people are making here. I have heard someone in Karachi that, okay, we are going to be in politics now, but our party will not give freedom of expression to anybody. And I came to know that they won't be having any following anywhere. I mean, one can hire the journalists. We have private media channels and everything, and they can project you as a leader. You can sit and enjoy talking, but actual following recently, which I have seen, and I was startled. In by-elections here, in local government by-elections, I went by myself to vote for a candidate. And believe you me, in polling station, the polling staff was there. With my arrival, the security people came, bomb disposal squad and all those rest of the elite commandos, and all that was there, and only me was there to vote. For 15 to 20 minutes, because they like gossiping, so that staff responsible for conduct of polling there. So I was just having chit chat with them for a few minutes. No one else came for vote. Only I was the only voter in a huge polling station. It's a polytechnic in a polytechnic college, so in a vast vicinity. For more than 10-15 minutes, I was the only one who was a voter. And when the result came out, uh, I have found in the evening, PRO had communicated the list to me, and I have found that one candidate has got uh, vote in thousands, and then another, and one was declared winner. So I was just astonished. The next day, I have asked my friends that, yeah, nobody was there to vote. How? So you guys, the, those who are just out of that sadist motivations, are coming out, putting their lives at risk sometimes to impose their stingy nature upon the people. Their days are gone. I mean, nobody is really following them. I think that probably, I don't know how that votes were polled, but I was there at least for half an hour. I was standing outside with the candidates for a while to have a chit chat with them. And not a single woman, not a man, nobody, except me. Nobody vote for me. At least that was a afternoon, uh, and then there was no video before me. I mean, nobody came up with the video evidence that somebody is polling votes there. Yeah, this is 3 months. So it is not that I declare everybody sadist who are blowing hot and cold as politicians, that the war between India and Pakistan is inevitable. No, people of India and Pakistan, they don't want any war. Actually, now the level of awareness is there. They want resolution of their problems. If somebody is involved in a blame game, even small children, they know that in Mumbai, if that police chief, Mr. Kurkure, if he would have been alive right now, we would have become aware of the fact that mafia having links in Karachi and in Mumbai, they are largely responsible for this, and Indian mafia is having links there in Karachi. Even so much so, a source in Karachi, a police officer, once I had helped her to revive her job. She's a mother of 2 children, and her husband is also not that much responsible, and she was thrown out and was trapped uh, in a murder case by her own some jealous colleagues, and according to her. And finally, I interviewed her in the days of General Musharraf. I interviewed her, and then finally her job was restored. I had sent the report to Associated Press of Pakistan, and I had heard her concerns. So she has told me that Indian ladies are getting married to our government people, and even some girls are married to our armed forces men. That she has reported few weeks ago from Karachi. So people, they don't want any war. And younger ones, I mean, my effort is that to facilitate everybody, I'm not coming out in public, though provoked. I'm being provoked by some nasty people there in FDMA. Obviously, when they violate the law, and it is my privileged position and by birth that I'm not in need of any job, and the governor imposes sometimes a job on me, or a president, or I was sent to USA by President of Pakistan after the sad demise of our previous dictator, General Zia. maybe, and his other colleagues, chief of ISI and two uh, high-ups of United States of America, the ambassador Rafael and that Brigadier General Wasam, they were also martyred. So then President was of the view that I shall lead the first delegation to United States of America. So I went there for 22 days. And on 23rd day I was uh, back on my way towards Pakistan. My training is like this. I do not get impressed from anybody. I mean, I'm not in need of, I don't find any good reason for, okay, advancement is there, but my approach is, I analyze the whole thing. On the streets of Washington, I have mentioned earlier that I had complained that the air, firstly I thought that Uncle James Bonner had hired a car in which the leakage is there. When we came outside the car for a while on a highway, and because the air was filled with gasoline smell. So Uncle James Bonner here told me, no, nothing is wrong with the car. The air is filled with gasoline. So air was polluted there. I do not get impressed from anything. I mean, I do analyze as a rational being whatsoever the realities are. They are so lovely friends. I like America. They had treated me well. And they're brainy, courageous, brave. And the good thing in them is that they're rich, but they're not lazy. They come out to fight for their country. They defend their country. And it is not like this that I'm now in our brothers, my Habibis in Middle East, they are also now coming out of that laziness. They also defend their country because mostly our army was, Pakistan army was supposed to take care of them, or US army was supposed to take care of them. And even for other jobs, they were hiring our people. So by themselves, they have oil money and they don't work at all. So now they are also having some American tendencies in them. They now fight for their country by themselves, and probably they will do all their jobs by themselves too. There is a growing realization that no matter how soever rich a person is, but he has to do something for the betterment of his country, especially to defend that wealth is the responsibility of the original citizens of a country which is facing any challenge. Well, we can have allies. And my first article published in University magazine during General Zia era was about self-reliance. From very young age, I was convinced I buy myself. For family needs, I do not rely on anyone. I always keep something for a rainy day, and I never ever any friend of mine had caught me in a position that I'm sitting and worrying about. Right now, even my my salary from the 5 months has not been released by Associated Press of Pakistan. And from the last 2 years, my salary has been stopped by that Water Disaster Management Authority. But I never went to any friend for, except my family, of course, they're there to help. So, and I personally have everything. I mean, I can pull along. I'm paying fees well in time of children. All transport. 6 children to arrange transport fees for them, their school fees, their other expenditures. They're also humans. They eat well. They wear well too. So, and they also need a very decent shelter most of the times. So everything is, I mean, has been managed. And it's a provocation that stoppage of salary from of FDMA, and that on a very sadist argument that we don't need your honesty and higher qualification and we are unable to understand you and why. Pakistan government rules and regulation does not allow this. The one who has said that and the one who was behind him, they're all gone case technically. They are no more. I mean, the moment that sadism will be out from this country, they will be brought to justice for doing these, committing these, not only atrocities, not only against myself, but against all the educated people of Pakistan. And against rest of the community too, for imposing their stingy nature upon 1600 million, 1800 million people of Pakistan, by making them suffer so much, by putting armed forces into awkward situation, by causing instability, political instability, by becoming unable to manage foreign policy in a way that everybody can feel secure here. So those abnormalities that are not going to be forgiven by anybody. Pakistan is a third nuclear power of the world, and its people are very brainy. And all the journalists, they make their account of these atrocities every day. You just read a column and you will come to know that they're coming up with all the bad things which you had done to the people of this country. Out of your ignorance, out of your sadist state of mind, you're making everybody suffer. Well, let me make everything clear to you. I do have discretionary powers. I can exercise those discretionary powers in good faith, and the usage of that power, discretionary power, shall be compatible with the clauses of the Constitution of Pakistan. In simple words, Constitution of Pakistan gives protection of life, protection of property to each citizen of this country. And if you are using your discretionary powers in a contrary manner to these clauses, it means you are at wrong. And law enforcing agencies have the right to take stock of all this. And anything which has been legislated there in parliament, because we are a federation, we cannot, Pakistan is a federation. No laws can be made in the parliament which are contrary to the spirit of federalism. The courts have jurisdiction over all the legislative measures. You cannot declare the parliament sovereign here. In no federation, parliament can be sovereign. Just study all the models. The best is United States of America. They have a system of checks and balances. Congress, which is the legislature, there in the United States of America, federal legislature. Even state legislatures, the laws which they made, if are contrary to the provisions of Constitution, can be challenged in Supreme Court. There, and can be declared null and void. Even executive orders of the President of USA, if are contrary to the clauses of the Constitution, are violating the rights of the people, those executive orders can be challenged in Supreme Court and can be declared null and void by judiciary. Judiciary plays a pivotal role to keep a federation integrated. Nobody can behave in an arbitrary or dictatorial manner. In a federation which is having constitution already, which prevents all this, which forbids all that. So the prevailing practices here, not only in Pakistan but in India too, misleading the people, of becoming demagogue, chanting slogans, making people emotional. These are all crimes. You are misleading them. Burning your own property. I mean, you know, when your fiery speeches and all that results in destruction of private and government property, that everything is being paid through taxes. If the government reconstructs its damaged buildings or other utilities, they buy it and they reconstruct it through your money, through your taxes. And if they pay the damages to the private property owners which you have destroyed, that payment is also being done through your taxes. And even if the money has been borrowed from external powers, you are supposed to pay, even your coming generations are supposed to pay for that. So be serious. At individual level, at national level, we must not, we shall have our humor sense intact, and we shall proceed forward. The guidelines, as far as I can give, are here. And as far as the elder who had assigned me the task to be in politics or to form another political party, well, at this stage, what I can do is that in a very civilized way. I mean, I'm coming up with lectures on YouTube to create awareness. And I do not believe in huge processions, blocking of roads, depriving the people to reach hospitals. People, they die on roads when you're holding a big public demonstration and all that, because they cannot cross the road, you block the road. And we don't have that much roads, alternate roads, which can make people reach to their destinations. Pakistan is still a developing country. So my lectures are there for you. Lay down in your bedroom, just listen to it if you feel like. I mean, I do not impose anything upon anybody. But once I'm being motivated, I'm being asked for it. So now I'm giving you the, the analysis which was mostly uh, required by developed uh, my friends in developed countries. Here, the maximum demand is that how many people are killed and who was behind the explosions and everything, and that account is enough. Nobody uh, wants to want something real or new or something based on uh, profound knowledge. And that is the irony of the third world. I mean, that is why they're a third world. And I by myself, I don't put myself into trouble. I don't my I don't put my friends into trouble, whether they're in Pakistan or anywhere in the world. And I believe I by myself I'm I'm used to of comfortable life. I can't put myself into trouble by making huge rallies and all that, which is really, you can lose your mind. You can. It is really difficult. How in such hot weathers or cool weathers, you and your people are just chanting slogans. What we need is the utilization of brain to change our lives. If individual, if any of my lecture helps my country fellows or people in the rest of the world to bring a better change in their lives, my job has been done. I feel satisfied that okay, I did something for the humanity. My education has become uh, of some good for the people of the world. So my thinking is like this. I'm not the one who do anything for self-projection or to prove others that they are inferior or I'm too superior. No, no, it is not like this. I treat everybody equally. I do. Uh, Even my eldest son is just 14 years old, and I take his views too seriously if he is saying something logical, reasonable. So uh, my wife, she's my equal partner, my all Habibis of each sex. We were together in university. They are my equal partners. I listen to them, and I never lie to them. I tell them the truth about everything. My commitments and my own way of doing things was abhorrent to the minds of many in the beginning when I came back to, after completion of my education, when I came back to Kohat, and everybody, the one who believes in corruption and the one who believes in deceiving others, and they used to say that how you will survive. And by the grace of God, in 1993 I came back to Kohat, and till today I've raised a family. The children are getting good education. Never ever there was any problem with my family life. Okay, some that extremism and sadism which is prevailing here. Everybody has suffered. My son, when he was in class 2, was attacked by his class fellow and was injured badly. Oh, 4 years, 5 years old at that time Faraz was. And when I met the parents of that child, the father of that baby was crazy, a madman. He said, "You have got 2 sons, I have only one. I want you to have only one son." And I said, "Oh, how I will save my son from this maniac?" But with the logic, with persuasion, here in this drawing room, he came along with his wife. His wife was sitting inside there. And then I had reported the whole thing to concerned agencies, security agencies, and everything. And finally, he was handled. That, that man was gone mad, and he was quite educated. So people around me are not that rational as they were in Islamabad or in Washington. But I manage all this. And sometimes they, Fidel Castro, he was a dictator, so he was having those attempts on his life and all that. That was quite natural because people, they don't like dictators. I lived a very normal life. Even when they had offered me that top slot, when I have analyzed the whole thing, that was the structure was illegal, I said, "No, sorry. I just don't want to end up in prison and all that." And finally, because whatsoever you are, if you are doing wrong, the end will be not good. So I am like this. I don't have any political ambition or anything. This is love for humanity, a basic motivation, which compels me to share my knowledge, share my analysis with my readers, and it's my duty too as a human being. Every human in the world shall come forward, because we are in a very, very difficult situation as humans here. At one hand, pollution is there, that killing pollution and all other cancerous rays and everything in the developed world, and in the developing world, people are suffering from the sadism of few, the sadists and those crazy people. They do struggle a lot to reach to a position from where they can get hold of power and then to make everybody suffer. No normal human in a constitutional setup, after winning elections, ever throw everybody out from job, every educated person out from job in his country. No normal person do this. The one who is doing that, whether in Pakistan or in India, on one pretext or another, is not normal. And the rest of the world community and Pakistani and Indian populace shall take all this into consideration while handling such a person. And it is not difficult to handle that. now it is so that from 60 or more than 60 years, both India and Pakistan are unable, people of India and Pakistan are unable to understand, and their leaderships too, that anything which has been referred to United Nations shall be resolved there. There is no need to send armies to suppress people of Kashmir. There is no need to uh, send other fighters because that is something really, through ballot it can be settled. If the Kashmiris they vote in favor of Pakistan, they will become a part of Pakistan. Or if they favor, if they vote in favor of India, they will become in favor of India. They will become a part of India. For such a simple solution and peaceful solution, how so many people, so many leaders were unable to take any positive step towards it. Everybody is trying to do something in a wrong direction. And this much small problem can cause three major wars in India and Pakistan, can cause deaths of 60,000 people here in Pakistan and bomb explosions. That Kuwait war financed by India. These are war crimes. With those leaders who have wasted the time of the people of subcontinent, of both India and Pakistan. Too many families are suffering. Mothers, they have lost their children. Wives, they have lost their husbands. We have widows, we have orphans at both sides of the border. And the one who is responsible for all this situation is still at large and enjoying his life. Many of them are dead too. Because since long that problem has been tackled in a very wrong way. So I think that it is high time to prove ourselves normal, our existing leaders. Definitely, they are not bad people. If they can sit and they can just decide the date of polling for that right of self-determination of the people of Kashmir with their UN counterparts, and they can go back to the UN for all this, that will prove them normal. There were normal people too. The India had demanded here in that referendum in NWFP, that northwest frontier province of Pakistan, which was not a part of, which was a Muslim majority area according to partition formula. That was a part of Pakistan, and it was having no geographical affinity with India. But the demand was accepted, the referendum was here, and people here had decided in favor of Pakistan. So it's a simple way out. And how, I mean, how someone can kill Gandhi? Mahatma Gandhi was killed, you know why? Because he had delivered a statement that assets, the share in assets, the shares which Pakistan was having in United India, that assets shall be given to Pakistan. That Mahatma Gandhi, the top leader of India, was killed by an extremist because he was trying to be just and fair. really these, and obviously he will be having, that extremist will be having backing of Indian government of that time. So my friends, these are all war crimes, crimes against humanity. You're doing something which cannot be justified on any grounds. And you're spending too much on propaganda machine. You're spending too much hiring agents for raw here in Pakistan. A friend of mine was laughing last night that some people, they came in Karachi, they want to form another party, and they are claiming that they were previous agents of raw Pakistani people. And a friend of mine, he was saying that yeah, that raw chief is going to be converted to Islam. Finally, he will accept Islam because uh, we have a lot of unemployed, and we have a lot of people suffering from every sort of exploitation. And if Indian Raw starts spending all its money on uh, employing agents of Raw in Pakistan, the final outcome will be their economic destruction. And if the Raw chief will ask aid to Saudi or other friends, they will say, okay, guy, convert to Islam, change your religion, maybe we might help you for employing more agents. And everybody knows that our ISI and we people are so, I mean, we handle everything so carefully. I mean, if some few people are employed as raw agents, they will never be able to do anything here wrong. That money has been wasted. As we have handled the terrorist, the Indian finance terrorism here, we will do the same with our agencies are doing the same with the existing and any future raw agents, if are being able, that money will be wasted for sure. Well, I'm not using any psychological methods. The reality is that we are not supposed to do these things with each other. We shall do which is quite good for all of us. That is lasting peace between India and Pakistan. Obviously, that will be idealism. At Ghulam Ishaq Khan Kaka, he was president of Pakistan. Once he had said that if Berlin Wall can be brought down, why that Wagah cannot be removed? And I was laughing because obviously there were no wars between East and West Germany, and there was no so hostilities. And besides, I do calculate the whole thing. Communal rights and all that communal hatred was largely responsible for creation of these two states. So partition had caused millions of rapes, millions of murders, millions of displacements. And if we ever went for a merger, we still have sadists all around. Maybe again there is going to be a bloodshed. Do we have, in both India and Pakistan, do we have a capable police force, capable other agencies of keeping 1 billion and 1800 million people in control if the merger is there? And what will be the situation of the properties which are being uh, there in India of Pakistan, people of Pakistani origin, in Pakistan of people of now people living there in India? What will be the scene finally? So to avoid any another bloodshed or any other problem, okay, the status quo shall be there, but the problem must be resolved, and that hostility has no reason. I don't find any logic behind the cruel things which are being done here in the name of great India and forceful occupation of Pakistan and rest of the Middle East, which is there in uh, plan of the Akhand Bharat, which India is pursuing. This is all they are. To wish for something for ordinary person, I mean, no human is ordinary. I don't want anyone to behave in ordinary fashion. Even a laborer shall plan all his activities. His family budget is everything. He shall behave intelligently. His attitude with his wife, his children shall be ideal. In the present age, when the best models are there before them, for everybody, TV is, at least TV is there in the reach of everyone. People are watching. That is an informal way of education, which we impart through TV screens and other media. So, hope my this effort will bring some fruit in terms of removal of sufferings of humans, not only in subcontinent but in the rest of the world too. And our people must be in a democratic environment. They must be able to elect the normal people to lead them towards better life, because no sadist will ever come up, no stinky person will ever come up with any reasonable solution. Whether the election is there in is getting near in United States of America or here in Pakistan, we still have to few years. Probably might be now the wave of change is quite visible. Probably people they might have some change in Pakistan. That will be better if our elected members in the assembly, because we are all responsible not only to God as a but to the people of Pakistan too, as a public servant, as a government representative, as a public representative. So, with growing awareness, people are definitely, they are not coming to vote for anybody. So the leadership has been also misguided, because they are doing something contrary to the clauses of the Constitution, spreading unemployment, uh, taking discrimination, political victimization, blame game. These are all nonsense things. Nobody will remember you in history with a good name for doing all this, for making your people suffer. Those in India and Pakistan who are taking very harsh stance and are bent upon continuing inimical relations and are unwilling to resolve Kashmir issue, which is a core issue, which has caused 3 major wars and sufferings to the people of subcontinent. Those people, not only they are involved in crimes against humanity, but they're also they will all never be remembered with good name by future generations, by existing generations. Even they're growingly becoming inquisitive, and their interaction through internet with the West, with the developed West, is exposing them to the ideas of liberty and freedom, and they're chanting slogans. You have to guarantee freedom by giving them economic and civil rights. You're not supposed to put a ban on this one and to allow another one. Equal treatment has to be, equal rights are there for every citizen of Pakistan and India. In terms of jobs, in terms of economic and civil rights, equality is there. Even before the law, rule of law shall be there. And if you're not doing all this, how the Assembly, the Lok Sabha, or that National Assembly of Pakistan, the members, they are all having conscience, and they upon call of conscience, they can throw you out from from your seats. Besides, they have to. They're all rich people. I mean, you can't make them your slaves. To be very frank, we are just loyal to our constitution, that holy book which we have. You guys are not kings if you're even if you're elected by the people. You are the leader as long as you're working in accordance with the constitution, with the clauses of the constitution. You're everything. But the moment you have crossed that limit and you have started behaving in dictatorial fashion, you are no more there, Mister. At least we, bureaucrats of my caliber, journalists of my caliber, we will never take you, will never extend that status to you, as a, which you claim as a public representative while acting contrary to the clauses of the Constitution. So if any change is there, that shall be within the assemblies. There shall not be any upheaval. We cannot afford to have upheavals or revolutions. Revolutionaries are simply confused people and their concepts are not very clear. And nobody can can promote human rights, can achieve the high goals of economic stability for Pakistan or India or any other country without engaging all the population and giving them appropriate rights and freedoms. So I hope that my message is clear now, and my friends, they shall not fall into trap of anyone who is just coming out with dictatorial agendas and all that. And there is one more funny development there in Karachi. I have seen a few people cleaning the streets of Karachi. Well, I appreciate that more as a column writer, as an analyst, as a journalist, as a citizen of Pakistan. If that leader who is holding a broom in his hand and cleaning the streets by himself is also member of parliament, and he can give a ring to the concerned authority known as TMA here in Guwahati, probably they have in Karachi too, that they shall activate all the people who are responsible for that sanitation activity, and they shall work. on daily basis because they are getting the salaries. By doing this for media and all that, by picking up, that gives you a very foolish look. I mean, I am not supposed to clean that road. There are people who are employed for that job. So I must know how to get, how to make them work. If I do have some powers to do that. So that brother is very dear to me, who by himself was out to clean the streets, uh, along with his other party fellows. He is a member of National Assembly, elected member of National Assembly probably. He can just give a call to that concerned authority that he shall and his men shall do their job. They shall clean the city. So I think that, and why I am stopping him from doing everything in this way, because I know that he cannot clean. Karachi is such a big area. Besides, by doing this activity, he is putting his life at risk and his mental health at risk, because that is not a very intelligent way of doing things. You must have the idea of the Pakistan is a very sophisticated uh, structure, is having a government structure, a very sophisticated one. We have people employed for every task, and we, if they are not doing their duty, if we are having some authority, we can give orders, can make them work. If they don't, if they will not obey, then there is another way of doing things. They can be penalized for that. They can be relegated from their jobs. In their jobs, they can be punished too. So they will do their job. Learn how to make everybody work in his and her own sphere appropriately. By doing foolish things, nobody can get any future votes from the Pakistani or Indian public. I am seeing that growing trends among them. They have now American standards. You know, the younger ones, they can discuss everything with you. The work, the crimes against humanity which you are committing while talking so cruel to everybody, throwing everyone from out from jobs, from in a country like Pakistan, which is so rich in oil, in gold, in all other resources, in human resources, having so much earnings from Karachi port, from our people working abroad, and you're just throwing, making everybody miserable on at one pretext or another, in clear violation of government rules, in clear violation of Constitution of Pakistan. Everybody is, that's why people are losing interest in that election activity, and because they don't have appropriate models in front of them. So try to develop yourself, my brothers. Already, those who are in business of politics, they shall come up with the better solutions, and they shall make themselves acceptable to the people. So that problem of disinterest of voters in their own political future, that can be, the better prospects will be there for them if they will behave in a better way. And I'm here to guide. Many other educated people are trying to guide everybody, and then there is a sanction of whatever I'm saying in accordance with the law and the Constitution. The sanction behind it is the law and the constitution of this country. And to enforce all that is, we have the structure of civil services. Pakistan armed forces are the final protectors of the people of Pakistan. So don't think, my friend, that you are so free that you can do anything after claiming that people have voted for you, so you have a right to give everything to your family, to throw out everybody from job which you don't like, or is more educated than you, or to kill everybody. No, you don't have any such powers. Whether you are here in KP government as a minister or whatsoever, you cannot kill anybody. You can use your discretionary powers in accordance with the constitution, with the spirit of the constitution. The right of life is there in the constitution. So you can't use your discretionary powers to kill the children of, to kill Pakistani students, to facilitate your ideological allies from across the border. And maybe the legal system is so lazy, or the educational system is not according to your needs, but we also know that speedy justice is no justice at all. And the way your people had done justice in those extremist ones in tribal areas and in Afghanistan during Taliban rule, everybody knows that that was not a justice at all. Without sufficient evidence, without any proper judicial proceedings, just you had started killing your opponents in the name of justice. That's why you have failed, and you will never. Extremism, ignorance cannot succeed. Maybe you had won once or twice, but then people had thrown you out, because we are living in a very civilized world and people are having very good models before them. So with the hope that all this the words which are all that which I have tried to communicate will bring good for the people, not only for the people of my own country, for the people of subcontinent, for the rest of the world, and I hope some good will be done finally. Sanity will prevail. I wish all the best to all of you, in hope that soon there will be a lasting peace all around the world.